Hello everyone, my name is Farai Mwakutuya and I'm coming to you from the NRtv studios in Harare. This is one of Zimbabwe's newest television stations and the one on which you catch this effort that we call the Focus Weekly. Our discussion with the production manager of this station is coming up next. This is the Focus Weekly, and as mentioned earlier, I have a very special guest on this edition of the program. Tendai Garwe, popularly known as Sokostina, is the production manager for NRtv. It is great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Farai.
Fantastic. And we're coming to you from the comfort of your own studios.
Yes. It's kind of weird, but welcome home.
Great. So NRtv is the newest kid on the block in terms of TV stations in Zimbabwe. Could you tell us a bit about who you are?
So NRtv is part of Rusununguko Media, and we are a TV station that got a license the same time all the other 6 commercial TV stations got licenses in November 2020. And we were under the mandate to establish the station within 18 months of when you get the license. And I think I was in the February of the following year, and we had to be online by August of 2022. And we did reach that deadline, and we were the last ones of the 3 stations that are on DSTV to be up. So we're basically just a young commercial TV station that had visionaries that needed to expand media, and of course in creating employment and make sure that the film, TV and broadcast industry becomes an actual viable business that gives people money and profit.
Who is your audience?
So we are looking at those people who are young, energetic, of course younger than me, but it's very young in its orientation because it's very considerate of each age group that is there, that is making decisions. And people will be shocked to know that kids, babies under 5 also make decisions. The remote decision and whatever we put on the channel, they also watch. But predominantly we're a youth-driven channel that wants to tell the Zimbabwean story in a youthful way that will make people want to have a buy into it and celebrate who they are as Zimbabweans. So it's bringing swag to the story that has been told over and over again. So we're not doing anything new. We're just retelling the story in a way that a young 25-year-old can relate to the station.
And how have things gone?
I would say we are, content-wise, we are doing well. I think we're very competitive, we're fresh, we're unique, we're fun. Very educational too, and very current. I think the problem comes in with the Zimbabwean audience in terms of our marketers and the people who make decisions about putting money onto television. I think we've been through the same thing over and over again, jingles, this, that. We're not putting money in television. And yet the whole world thrives and does everything on television. Even if the show is on TV, yes, it will end up on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, but mainstream television is not yet going that quickly, and mainly because of the current affairs conversations, the news headlines, and of course, some things to just de-stress without the chaos of the world. So it's been going okay, only we need people to put money where their eyes are, I guess.
One school of thought argues, and I see where you're coming from with this argument of marketers and brands not putting their money on the table. Some people suggest that maybe we don't have the budgets to be able to make the impact on TV.
So the one thing that Zimbabweans should know, or people at large, is there is something called the subconscious marketing. The marketing that drops at the back of your head without you noticing that people are actually advertising to you. And that's exactly what television does. And I was, off screen, you and I were talking about how McDonald's put itself in every TV show possible in the United States. That you and I, the moment McDonald's came to South Africa, we wanted to go and try the Big Burger because it was subliminally put in our faces and right there. And you realize that even not only just the US, even South Africa now does it, where they place the brand with Farai Mwakutuya should drink a certain drink, and they see you holding it, and with the portfolio you hold, you actually influence people to say, if Farai drinks that, then I can drink it. So it is one of those that we are not aware of the subconscious marketing. We want the in your face, right there. This is it. It's image soap way. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head. It's image soap. It is there. But if somebody walks into a shower and butts with it in a drama, it will stay longer in a person's mind as, better than a jingle would, because now they're also being lazy. They're just using songs that are there already.
And just people change the words.
Yeah,
same,
which is...
Same everything.
Yeah, and I'd rather listen to the original anyway. So for me, that's where I realized that as Zimbabweans, we need to evolve in how we do our marketing. Sometimes when we watch those ads on that, I can't even say the brands because I'll get an invoice. You would be like, why they advertising chicken? With all the elaborate thing, but the swag that comes with that makes you want to identify and want to go and buy, especially when you watch the South African ads. And I think we should get there as Zimbabwe to tell the story differently and make brand interaction more appealing and fun.
So our marketing teams here are perhaps not risk takers, not innovative enough.
And this is also risky for me because they then say, did you say that? I'm not saying they're not necessarily risk takers. I'm saying they should step out of the box.
And there are opportunities beyond what they've done traditionally.
Absolutely. And the thing about television, it lasts for years on end. So no matter what you do as a marketing person, manager, executive, whatever, now this ad stays with this program, with this everything for the rest of our lives. That's why image soap stays in my head. Because it was so brilliant, it was so unique. That's when cartoons were being introduced. And it's still there to this day. Unlike other ads that are just like 30 seconds and they're gone, when you put a brand within a product, it makes you more aware of that particular product. And you can talk about it as the years proceed.
Indeed. And I think just to add on that, in terms of the opportunity, the mileage that is there, that could be leveraged, is the beauty now with TV content is it's not... you and, as we used to watch when we were kids, just in our household,
right.
That's it. And
right.
if you missed the show, that was it. There were no reruns. There was no platforms, digital platforms where you could watch it. Virtually anywhere in the world can watch it.
Absolutely. You take it everywhere. And the thing is, we have gotten now the culture of cutting it shorter for those that have got a shorter lifespan. You can watch a whole movie on TikTok. Even though they put it in their chunks of 3 minutes, you would literally watch it at your pace. And that's what we also want to do. We'll give you the full 24 minutes, but we'll also cut it for you if you're too busy to say, this was the nugget and this is what people are actually supposed to do.
Indeed. Let's take a short break. It is the Focus Weekly. We will be back shortly. Thank you for staying with us. I continue my discussion with Tendai Garwe. Now, before we went to the break, we're obviously talking about potential available for marketing teams. Let me now turn the attention or the focus and spotlight on you as media houses and TV stations. Some people have suggested that, it's cut and paste, copy and paste, that it's essentially the same thing, but with a different name, different colors, same formats, same faces. What's your take on that?
I think this is just people who haven't watched all stations. I think there are people who are not being very objective because I literally watch ZBC, 3K, ZTN, Prime, and ourselves, and there is a difference. There's a difference in faces, in delivery, in how things are done, and of course the content is different. I would dare say if somebody were to see something there and say, this one, of course, will call out who copied who, because the one who had the first program will only just show. But there's nothing new in this world, Farai. Everything has been done before. We have to find a way to bring it back home and say, this is how you have a conversation about this and that. Someone would say this was copied from somewhere. But of course it was copied from somewhere. But you localize it to make it make sense for your culture, your vision, and whatever it is that you are pushing as a station. And we think NRtv, beyond our imagination, we can take you thus far with imagination. You go beyond with whatever it is that is there. But I think it is not true that it's copy and paste. I think you literally can change the 4 channels and decide which one you want to watch.
Mm-hmm. I like the point you raised just now where you spoke about localizing the content. And in the past, there's obviously been issues about local content producers not being given an opportunity or a platform. As a station, what's your stance on that?
Well, you know that we work with local producers. We have over 26 that we work with right now because we're regulated by BUZZ. Part of the license requirements was for us to have at least 40% of external content producers on our platform. And we have done that. We found different content producers for different genres of content that are placed. But of course, it's a cycle. It feeds into each other. If we don't make money, we really cannot afford to bring on the external content producers. So it's now not just the television's effort to make sure that the content producers are celebrated and known and money is placed in their brands. It's now everybody's job to make sure that we are there. And one thing we've also noticed that with the coming of the TV stations, there even was an award ceremony called ZAFTA, Zimbabwe Annual TV and Film Awards, that have come up because there's now competition, and NRtv is actually competing against itself on some of the programs. So it also shows that, and part of them are the external content creators, because you have to know that NRtv also has content creators within us. So the external content creators, the mandate for Vision 2030, leaving no one and no place behind, was let's increase the GDP of the country with entertainment, like what Nigeria did and what South Africa is now trying to do to take their number one back. And Rwanda is also getting into filmmaking. Everybody, Zambia is thriving. So also this particular industry has to now start contributing to the bigger picture of who the country is and the pride that we have as a people. Yeah.
So from what you're saying, clearly capacity is there in terms of local content producers.
Yes.
Quality
is there. But you see, there's this thing that we have as, I don't know, humans, because I could be an alien, that, you know that there's a fix. We're trying to stretch and make everybody eat on the little cake that's there. And be like, you gave me this amount, so I'm going to give you this type of quality. I think as a people, we should just be diligent to be known that if you're on a Faraimo Kutuya set, no matter how much it is, they're going to give you the best. The reputation is what people are not so concerned about. And I think on NRtv, the ones we have external content producers are brilliant. The quality is good, the camera, the lighting, the setting, I think it's good. And of course it improves as the seasons go, because we also get feedback, not only from our internal feedback, but external from the people who watch.
Indeed. And I think, again, that point you make at the end there is you never know who's watching. So, if I was to give any advice to any content producers out there, is you never know who's watching that. It could be, someone sitting in some boardroom internationally who says, that's great and I want it.
True.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lesson for young people coming through. Something else that I really want to pick up on and also speak to you about is empowerment of, obviously you're empowering content producers, but we know, unfortunately, that the media industry has also earned a sort of reputation for marginalizing women. And not just in Zimbabwe, I think internationally, women haven't been given an opportunity to be at the right platforms, have been taken advantage of and things like that. Again, as a station, just to hear what you're doing in that regard.
So NRtv is a very progressive station and very inclusive. We like to not only work with young people, but young women as well, and young women also taking up places of leadership. You realize that majority of our team leaders are actually female, and they are the ones who are driving the station, whether it is in marketing, in tech, in writing and producing, or in news and current affairs. Those are all led by women, and of course production, which also shows that the progression of including women and making sure that we are seen, heard, and that we also contribute is very important for NRtv. And of course, we also have a zero tolerance of any forms of abuse here, and we take them very, very strongly. So because we're also a training hub for young people, as NRtv, one of our objectives is to train young people so that when they go out in the industry, they are ready and they're able, whether to do it by themselves or go to another station. And we also like to, it's like protecting, because interns are always the target of, abuse. But here, it's punitive. You cannot even do that to the young people. So NRtv does that. And if you must know, I'm also now in the disability, what do you call this, quarter. And I'm here as one of the top team leaders. I wasn't discriminated because I was walking in crutches or I was going through certain things. And they were even aware I was going to go for surgery into my job. But it is that inclusivity and knowing what a person can deliver and what they can do. So that's who NRtv is. Very inclusive, including races, cultures, religions. We have Muslims, African traditionalists. We have all sorts of people. And it also shows in our programming.
Fantastic. We need to take another short break, but we'll come back and continue. This is the Focus Weekly. Do stay with us. It's a warm welcome back to the Focus Weekly. Today, before, obviously, we've spoken quite a bit about the journey that you've walked so far as a station. Now, just to understand, I mean, a lot of people make this point that TV stations now have been licensed and are coming into a space where they're competing not just with other TV stations. You're competing with other media. You're competing with TikTok, YouTube, all these other platforms. Does that therefore make you, is this still a viable business in view of that competition?
It still is. It still is, because the process of creating, even though now with TikTok and Instagram, it's ad hoc, it's as inspired and etc. The main TV, this conversation could happen on TikTok, but nobody's going to watch 30 minutes of us, right? But people are going to cut anything that they think they can use to push a conversation. So we do still need the main media or the main television. I always make fun of this, that when we are evolving as a people, we're going into AI and etc. You realize that I am in the right field, because even if the aliens come, they want to communicate. And this will be there. The main TV will be there. And it's the main communication media. And you'll see that even whatever current affairs are happening, you could get it on TikTok, but everybody always wants to take their remote and look for authenticity. There's something about the big screen that makes you feel that is truthful, that is safe, and that is matter of fact. So unless the habits of humans then completely abandon when wanting to feel grounded, I think TV is still going to be there for a minute longer. Even radio is also like, media is still going to be there because we need to communicate.
I think it's about evolution. It's
True.
About adaptation, as you were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
So even NRtv is getting to a place where we are moving some of our shows into gaming. We have a show called Funky Eggs. We're going to move that into a game. So what we also need to do as a station is to evolve, to say, what is it that we can do? And like we said, in 2024, we want to take TV to the people, but with not just putting it in your face, but something that you interact with on your device, because we know everybody has got a bad neck from looking down.
looking down at your device.
So that's what we are also trying to do, to be there, to be relevant, and so that we don't get lost in the cracks.
Okay. Taking TV to the people, to what extent has your media house gone out there and been or taken yourselves out to the people beyond urbanites, beyond people in Harare, not just in terms of taking the content there, but telling the stories of, rural communities or places that are off the beaten path?
Oh, wow, you should. Someone is not watching NRtv, guys. So
no, I know
these questions to get the people. Yes. But so NRtv goes everywhere. We tell stories of people in Gokwe, in Bindura, in Mutare, in Chipinge. We have been to the corners of the earth in our documentaries. Also, Culture is Power, Wadiwambo Famba, Maitiru Ajo. It goes to the people, because urbanites are not going to do Wadiwambo Famba. You guys don't have the strength or the stamina for it. Or if the culture is power, the dances, the costumes, the food people eat. We go far and wide. Our show, The Bread Basket, takes you everywhere. Where Sitko, who's our partner, actually is kwa vari kurima. Whether vari kurima kuri kumtora shanga, NRtv is going to go there and film. We have shows like Road to 2030. It goes to everywhere, where the roads are being made, where cities are being expanded, where solar is happening. So we are a station that believes that the 10 provinces of Zimbabwe have stories to tell. And you even realize that our main news bulletin speaks in Chewa, Tonga, Nambia, Ndebele, and Shona for now, and sign language. Because we know that people are different, diverse, but everywhere. So we are trying to go everywhere, but of course we haven't reached some places, but we will get there.
Indeed. Contrary to what you were saying earlier, I do particularly like, the wildlife conservation, unsung heroes. I think that is a fantastic initiative. And I think that is the power of media, as you were saying.
That is a partnership that also other people should learn to do. Wild Africa came and said, we'll partner with you on that regard, because we also are big on the environment and wildlife as a station. They think there's some ethos that we can't say, but we believe in to say, let's protect our wildlife, let's show off all that. And that's why we even introduced a new show called Beyond Tomorrow. It is about the environment, about all that's happening with global warming and the preservation and the etc. So we are those people. We love what we love, and that's our country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going forward, you've obviously said 2024. That's obviously a few weeks away now. Taking TV to the people, being out there. Beyond that, well, what are the long-term plans for NRtv? Are you here to stay?
We are here to stay. People get used to us. And I know a lot of people had so much to say about us. But like anything, Farah, a child is going to fall so many times before it starts walking. And even when it starts walking, it will stumble before it starts running. And when it starts running, it needs to put in its best form. And that's exactly where we are. We're not saying we know it all. We're not saying we are. But we definitely want to be the giant. We definitely want to be your option, your number one choice, and be the hottest TV station, like we say, and always take you beyond your imagination. So we are here for a while. And I think my grandkids will say, oh, Gogo started that. Hopefully my son is getting this hint.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tendai. Always a pleasure speaking to you. I think very informative and insightful discussion, and we certainly wish you all the best going forward.
And it is my birthday today. It is 7 November, Tuesday, is it not?
Indeed.
41.
Congratulations and a happy birthday to you.
Thank you
indeed.
so much.
I'm sure a huge party is planned.
No, this time taking it easy.
It's a surprise. It's a surprise, and I've let the cat out of the bag. Thank you so much, Tendai.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for being a fantastic guest. That does it for this edition of the Focus Weekly. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed it, a very special edition of this program. And we'll be back again next week at the very same time. The channels on which you can interact with us, you can like, follow, subscribe, are on your screens right now, and we encourage you to do that. My name is Farai Mwakutuya. Join me again next time.